Good evening, and welcome back to News Around, the channel where we decode the silence between the words and the glitches between the frames. We often think of technology as cold and unfeeling, a collection of servers, cables, and pixels that simply transmit reality. But sometimes, just sometimes, the machines seem to align with the human heart. Sometimes, a connection fails exactly when an emotion becomes too heavy to transmit. Tonight, we are dissecting a moment that will go down in the history of social media fandoms. It was supposed to be a standard evening, a casual chat, a digital meet and greet with one of our most beloved stars, Halil İbrahim Ceyhan. It promised laughter, anecdotes, and the usual warmth. But fate, the ultimate showrunner, had a different script in store. We are talking about the freeze. The moment the internet stood still. The moment a single name, Sıla Türkoglu, allegedly caused a broadcast to crash and revealed a vulnerability that no HD camera was meant to capture. Was it a technical error? Was it a power outage? Or was it the sheer gravitational pull of an unfinished love story that short-circuited the system? Today, we analyze every second of that blackout, the whispers that filled the void, and the look in Halil's eyes that said more than 1,000 scripts ever could. Before we reboot this emotional system, I have a request. If you believe that true feelings can't be hidden by buffering, please destroy that subscribe button. And for those who want to analyze the raw data with us, click join to become a supporting member of News Around. Your support is our bandwidth. Now, let's rewind to the moment before the screen went black. To understand the magnitude of the storm, we must first appreciate the calm that preceded it. It started like any other Tuesday night in the digital age. Halil İbrahim Ceyhan, a man known for his deep connection with his fanbase, decided to go live. The setting was intimate, likely his home, bathed in soft, warm lighting that made the viewers feel like they were sitting across the coffee table from him. He was in high spirits. With that charismatic, easy smile that has launched 1,000 fan pages, he was navigating the stream with the ease of a seasoned pro. He answered questions about his daily routine, shared jokes about his workout schedule, discussed his favorite music playlists, and hinted at excitement for his new projects. The atmosphere was light, buoyant, and perfectly curated. The comment section was a river of hearts, fire emojis, and praise, flowing by at a speed that would make anyone dizzy. Halil was reading them, laughing at the jokes, acknowledging the love. It was the perfect parasocial interaction. Until it wasn't. Amid the barrage of innocuous questions about diet and travel, the broadcast moderator, or perhaps Halil's own eyes scanning the scrolling text, lingered on a comment that held immeasurable weight. It wasn't a hate comment. It wasn't a scandal. It was a simple curiosity from a fan who, like millions of others, hasn't let go of the past. The question was straightforward: are you still in contact with Sıla Türkoglu, or is there any chance of seeing you together in a new project? It is just a name. 2 words. 5 syllables. But for Halil İbrahim Ceyhan, those words acted like a command code to the system of his soul. The effect was immediate and devastatingly visible. It was as if someone had pressed a pause button on reality. Halil's smile, which seconds before had been lighting up the screen, didn't just fade, it froze. It calcified into an expression that is now being analyzed by body language experts across the globe. It was an indecipherable mixture of nostalgia, sudden surprise, and if we dare to look closely, a deep, resonant pain that he tried, and failed, to conceal. And then, the universe intervened. Right at that critical moment, just as his lips parted, just as it seemed he was about to utter a word, perhaps a denial, perhaps a deflection, perhaps a truth, the screen went static. The transmission froze. Can you believe the timing? If this were a scene in a soap opera, critics would call it too convenient. But this was real life. For a few seconds that stretched into an eternity, millions of viewers were left staring at a frozen image of Halil. It was a haunting tableau, that lost look in his eyes, his mouth slightly open, frozen in the act of speaking a sentence that never reached the microphone. It looked like a man suspended between 2 worlds, the world of his professional present and the world of his emotional past. Then, black. The stream cut out completely. The reaction was instantaneous pandemonium. Viewers panicked. Had the internet gone down globally? Was it a platform error? Or, and this was the theory that ignited like wildfire, had Halil, overwhelmed by the sudden intrusion of her name, physically disconnected the stream? Did he pull the plug? Social media did what it does best: it exploded. The hashtag combining their names became a worldwide trend in minutes. The timeline was a cacophony of questions. Did you see his face? Why did it cut now? What was he going to say? Everyone was asking the same thing. What did Halil feel in that split second that was strong enough to break the connection? It was the most dramatic silence in the history of Turkish celebrity streaming. We have all been there. You are having a good day, and then someone mentions that name. The name of the person you loved, the person you lost. And suddenly, your internal system crashes. It makes us ask, do you believe names carry energy? Can a memory be strong enough to stop you in your tracks? We want to hear your stories of the names that stop the world. Pause the video and share in the comments below. And please, if you are enjoying this deep dive, like this video. It helps us keep the signal strong. If you want to support us directly, the join button is right there. Now, let's see what happened when the lights came back on. When the connection finally returned, after several agonizing minutes of a black screen, the Halil İbrahim Ceyhan who reappeared was not the same man who had left. The lighting was the same, the room was the same, but the energy had shifted tectonically. He tried to regain his composure. He attempted a joke, saying, "Looks like the power was too strong for the internet." A clever line, certainly. But his eyes told a different story. They appeared distracted, his gaze drifting off camera into the middle distance several times, as if looking for something or someone who wasn't there. It is impossible to hide what the body screams. His posture was stiffer. His laugh was a little too quick, a little too hollow. It is said that Sylar's name isn't just a word to him, it's a living memory. It is a love story that, though the public believes it is over, seems to still burn brightly beneath the ashes of PR statements and time. Here is where the story gets truly cinematic. There are reports from fans who claim to have heard something in the split second before the audio cut out completely, a murmured sentence uttered in that moment of distraction. There are names that, no matter how much time passes, still have the power to stop my world. Now, we must be responsible journalists here at News Around. This phrase has not been officially confirmed. It was heard through the static, through the glitch. But whether he said it out loud or whether the fans projected it onto him, it rings true. It fits the narrative of the freeze. It fits the look in his eyes. Imagine standing in front of thousands of people, trying to be the perfect idol, and suddenly being confronted with the memory of the person who owns a piece of your soul. It is natural to feel paralyzed. The relationship between Halil and Sylar has always been a whirlwind, a passionate dance that kept us all on the edge of our seats. Fiction gave us unforgettable moments, but it seems reality surpasses any script. This incident confirms that the wound, or perhaps the hope, remains open. Sylar, for her part, has remained silent. But sources close to her assure us that she felt the impact of what happened. Rumors are swirling that she may have been watching the stream from an anonymous account. Imagine that. A silent witness to her own impact, watching how her name still has the power to break the internet and disarm the man she once stood beside. Did she send him a message afterward? A simple "I saw that." The possibility of a reunion, even a private one, is the fuel that keeps this fandom running. As Sylar herself once said in a past interview, "Never say never, because what the heart holds, time cannot erase." Today, that quote resonates with a haunting new power. The freezing incident is more than just a funny anecdote about bad Wi-Fi. It is symbolic. It represents how we can all be paralyzed by the memory of a love that left its mark. Halil İbrahim Ceyhan, with all his media training, with all his professionalism, couldn't help but be human. He showed us his vulnerability. He let us see that behind the star is a man who still feels, who still remembers. The empathy from his fans was overwhelming. The comments shifted from questions to comfort. We saw sadness in his eyes. He still loves her. The internet didn't go down, he just needed a moment to breathe. It was a collective digital hug. Everyone wanted to reach through the screen and tell him that it's okay to feel. It's okay not to have forgotten. After the broadcast resumed, it ended somewhat abruptly. Halil said goodbye with a phrase that left us all thinking, a phrase that felt like a riddle wrapped in a farewell. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than 1,000 words, and today, silence was the protagonist. Thank you for being there and for understanding. Understanding what? Do we understand that he still loves her? Do we understand that the question hurt him? His words were a puzzle that each of us is trying to piece together. But one thing is certain, silence was the protagonist. The silence of the freeze, the silence of the black screen, and the silence of the words he almost said. This night will be etched in the memories of his fans not as the night the technology failed, but as the night the feelings worked perfectly. It was the night we confirmed that where there is smoke, there is fire. And in the case of Halil and Sila, it seems there are still embers smoldering, waiting for a gust of wind or a simple question to reignite them. We are left wondering what happens next. Will Halil speak openly? Will Sila post a subtle song lyric on her story? We can no longer pretend nothing is wrong. The tension is palpable, electric, and undeniably real. As viewers, we wish them both happiness, whether together or apart. But let's be honest, we all secretly hope that one day, the screen won't freeze, and we will see them reunited, confirming that love always triumphs. Thank you for joining us for this special analysis on News Around. This event reminded us that stars are human, that they suffer and love like any of us. If this story moved you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you want to help us keep telling these stories, click join. Until next time, may your connection be strong, and your heart be stronger. Goodbye.